Hello, good morning and welcome to Dumfries Ice Bowl, where we are showing the first round of matches from the English Mixed Doubles Championship. My name is John Brown and I'll be some commentary on the games over the next few days. We have a total of 5 entries in the championship this year, and the game we're watching at the moment is between the reigning champion Anna Fowler and her new partner Tom Jagey against Stuart Brand and Angela Wilcox. So at the first end there, Brand and Wilcox had the hammer, having been the lower score in the pre-game last stone draw, and they took a 2, and so the hammers are reverted to Fowler and Jagey. For those of you who have never seen mixed doubles before, each team comprises 2 players, 1 male, 1 female, and they play a total of 6 stones per team per end. 1 stone is positioned before the end begins, and the players then throw the 5 stones remaining between them. 1 player throws the first and last of those 5, and the other player throws the second, third and fourth. That could be a different player at each end. So in this end, for example, the first stone for the Brand Wilcox team was thrown by Angela Wilcox. And they are now lying 1 shot, the blue stone, closer to centre than the 2 red ones currently in the 4-foot. So I think I got that wrong. The first stone was thrown there by Stuart Brand. Angela Wilcox now throwing the second stone for the blue team. And she's coming up, actually hitting the guard at the front, pushing it into the house. And that's lying 2 stones now in the 4-foot. Looks like they're lying first and fourth shots. As I said, there are 5 teams entered this weekend in the mixed doubles. They will play a double round robin, a total of 8 games per team. And unless one team is unbeaten, there will then be a final between the top 2 teams come Sunday afternoon. If one team is unbeaten, win all 8 of their games, they will go through as English champions to the World Mixed Doubles Championship, being held this year in Östersund in Sweden in April. Of the 5 entries, only one is a returner from last year in total. That is the team of Andy and Jackie Taylor, who were runners-up last year. Anna Fowler, as I said, is back, but with a new partner this year, her brother Ben Fowler, who she's played with for the last 2 years, is in his final year at university, and so he has decided not to play this year because the final exams and the World Championships actually coincide in April. As you can see from Tom Jagey, who's just removed the short stone to leave Fowler Jagey lying at least one there at the front upper right of the forefoot. The other teams to enter this year are, as you see, Stuart Brand and Andrew Wilcox, who are from the St George's Curling Club, a new curling club which has opened up for English players living in Scotland who are eligible to play for England. And on the other sheet we have a young team from Kent, Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel, who are playing against the Taylors. And the 5th team who have a bye this round is Owen Rees, playing with Annabelle Martin, up from Kent as well. So Andrew Wilcox trying to come round the guard there and remove one of the red stones, just removes the guard, and now Fowler Jagey have a chance to remove the blue stone on the left as you look at it, and lie 4. From this picture, we are Anna waiting to sweep Tom's stone as he slides out there, and the stone is on the way. It's an in-turn. And it's a good shot, and he's rolled in to lie shot, and it looks as though red are lying 4 stones now. Mixed doubles is a new discipline to curling. It's about 10 years old, and it will be featuring for the first time in the Olympics at Pyeongchang in February. 8 nationalities, 8 member associations of the World Federation are taking part. Currently there's no British team there. The British team were 9th in the rankings, so just missed out. But with the situation regarding the Russian Olympic banning, shall we say, we're not sure what the reaction from the Russian authorities will be, because the Russians have obviously qualified, and that's a good shot there, and 2 reds disappear, but Fowler Jagey is still lying 2. Now, if the Russian team do not come to Olympics, either as independent athletes or because the Russian Federation decides to ban them from playing, then the British team would be the next one in line to get a late call-up to go to play in Pyeongchang in February. The British team would probably be, having confidence, would probably be the Scottish, the team which in fact earned the qualification points for the Olympics, which would be Bruce Mout and Gina Aiken, but obviously there's no official word on who that would be yet, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anna Fowler carefully watching the stool that comes down. Is probably come a bit too far there, and has set up a possible double now for Stuart Brand. And so that last stone of Thomas probably came just a little bit too far. And on the other sheet, another game, Andy and Jackie Taylor have just taken a 2 at the second end to get a 2-1 lead against Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel. So here in our featured game, Stuart trying to remove some of these red rocks from play. It's a fairly hefty shot coming down here. And he moves 2 reds, rolls up the front of the house, but I think that the red stone at the back of the 4 foot probably still lying short here. So Anna going to try to hit the blue out to lie 3. She has to be careful. She has to be careful here not to jam it onto the back red. So she's playing out turn to try and just squeeze it out the side and roll across into the lie 3rd shot. Does have to be very far. In mixed curling, in mixed doubles curling, you don't have to have somebody in the head holding the brush for you. You can have the second person up to try and help your stone sweeping, and I can't see. It's a good shot for Anna. Pushes the blue out and lies 3. I think from here, looking at the 3rd shot to see, but I think it's probably a 3, but maybe they want to measure. No, they've taken it as a 3. So after 2 ends is Fowler Jakey 3, Brandon Wilcox 2. So I hope you've been enjoying the pictures there while I've been having a wee break. Jaeger lying 3, and there's a stone come in there from Angelo. Look, oh, it's going just through the gap there, but it's cut it down to probably one red line. So Jaeger coming around to put one at the top of the 4 foot to stop the draw into the button. And that's a good draw in there from Tom Jaeger to the top of the 4 foot. And Angela coming down there. Oh, she's just rubbed there. She missed that altogether. And I go through the house. So red line 2, possibly 3. So the teams have a busy schedule this weekend, obviously playing 8 games between now and Sunday morning. They have 3 sessions today, 3 sessions tomorrow, and 3 sessions on Saturday, and the final round robin session on Sunday morning. Obviously each team has 2 byes during that period, so it's not 3 3-game days for everybody, but it is quite a tough schedule. We play double round robin because it's what the players want. They decided a long time ago that a single round robin of 5 teams, 1 bad game, and really that was your competition over if it was the right team or the wrong team you lost against. So we play double round robin, and it means that by the end of the two rounds of round robin play, we should have the 2 best teams at the top, or 1 undefeated team ready to go straight through to the Worlds. Anna and Tom just check to see where to put this last stone of theirs. Obviously trying to guard up the front to prevent any incoming stone from Brandon Wilcox. So the stone's on its way, coming down here on the right hand of the sheet as you look at it, trying to guard against the draw round to the back red stone. That's a pretty good shot there. It doesn't leave Stuart with many options, I don't think. He's got a blue at the front there, he can maybe push up into the head. But apart from that, it's fairly tightly shut up there from Anna and Tom. And that is indeed what he's trying to do. Try and push his blue at the front up into the 4 foot to outcount those 3 reds that are lying there at the moment. Games are 8 ends, and the teams have to play a minimum of 6 ends. Stuart just sliding out now with the stone from the far end, and Anne's going back to try and check. Obviously, she's not. Stuart's up trying to sweep it. It's a bit wide. Oh, it's just got the guard, just misses it. So that one stayed quite straight there. Didn't really draw across towards the. And that looks like 3 more stones for Fowler and Jaggy, which means a 6-2 lead after 3 ends. In the other game, Pinel and Andal came back with a 1 at the third end, so that game is tied up at two shots all. So we are now at the 4th end of the game, Fowler, Jaggy, Brian Wilcox. And it's Brian Wilcox choosing to retain the hammer. It's possible for the team which loses the end has a choice of placing the stones, and they can choose to keep the hammer, or they can actually give away the hammer. And you may ask, why would you do that? Well, if you're a number of shots up towards the last end of the game, and you have got your draw weight and the opposition haven't, you may want to have the choice of having the first shot of pushing the stone right into the button, as has just happened there. That would give you a chance then to get your stones in play before the opposition, and therefore you could then defend a lead of 3 or 4 shots far better. But it doesn't happen very often, and certainly since they moved the back stone slightly far back in the house, it's seen almost rarely. There's a good draw in there from Anna Fowler, not quite far to the back of not quite a freeze in the blue stone, but in the front of the 4, in front of the button, so a good place to be. Stuart comes down now, and he's a little bit heavy, just pushes right across a little bit, in for shot, and rolls off the side. So a useful stone at the back there might come in into play at some point. No stone can be removed from play until the 5th place stone of the end, so there's no taking guards off earlier in the end. No stone, that includes your own stones, cannot be removed from play before the 5th place stone of the end. So that's why you'll see the first few stones all being draws or tap-ups. Some teams do try and tick the front guard off. There's a possibility. But no stone can be pushed out of play. So Fowler and Jaggy just put up another short rock there. So we've got two red guards at the front, red stone in the middle of the house. So Angela coming through a great shot through the middle of the port there, and she takes the red out. But that was the first stone they were able to hit stones out with. That is okay. So it was a great shot through the centre there, through the hole in the middle. Takes the red out and lies 2. So Tom Jaggy trying to follow Angela's stone through the gap there, but didn't quite manage it. But they split the front stone off, so the blue stone's now a bit more exposed. And Stuart calling for a front ring guard. This is the fourth end. After the fourth end, the team's allowed a break, 4-minute break. And they can talk to their coaches if they have one. Anna and Tom do have their coach with them, Nigel Patrick, so he'll be going down at the fourth end break to have a chat with them. They have a 4-minute gap. And that guard has come a bit too far actually. Top 12 became the back 4, so it still left the short stone open, and a clear chance now for Tom to hit the short stone, and also perhaps get a double if he wishes. Face the stone on the right side, you look at it, he'll get a double, and possibly a triple. But we shall see what happens. Anna goes up to sweep the stone, if necessary, as it leaves Tom's hand. Unlike four-person curling, where you have something in the head at all times, here you're really aiming at a point which you've memorised as being the correct point, rather than aiming at a brush. So quite a bit of skill here to work out where actually you're aiming for and to remember that point and to get it right. So an extra skill that's required for mixed doubles curling. Here we see Tom sliding out on the shot, and they disappear from view down the middle of the ice, and they'll shortly come back into view at the top of the picture with a red stone, and it's a tiny bit too high, but he's got it, but he's rolling away, and it's still one shot for blue for Brandon Wilcox. That stone didn't perhaps bend as much as he expected it to, and he hit it on the wrong side of the stone for the shot he wanted to play. So Stuart looking at coming to freeze on the second stone there. It would be an option actually to draw around the guard at the front into the edge of the 4 foot on the right hand side, if you wished. That would give a split, 2 stone split across the house. There's a bit of a danger in this hand. If he does this short and he's slightly off, he may leave set up a double for the Jakey Fowler team. Here's Angela Stone coming down here towards the red. She's not a bad weight, perhaps overcut a little bit, but she is now lying 2 shots. And that would be quite tricky. Anna's looking at in the back blue and rolling across to lie shot the other side of the 4 foot. Anna looking here, it's hitting the back blue, rolling across to lie the other side of the 4 foot. Drink it down. I can hear Anna calling for sweeping. And here comes Tom at the top of the picture. It's over curling quite a bit. Is it okay? Well, he's got it on the nose and he's rolled across a bit. That's good. It does leave a fairly straightforward hit for Stewart to lie 2. And the contrast the teams here. The Fowler Jakey team, nobody in the head for the shots. So the non-throwing player is up, sweeping from the minute the stone can leave the hand. The Brian Wilcox team obviously playing a different tactic here, where the Angela stays in the head here, and Stewart has to run up and chase his own stone if he wants to sweep it. It really depends how comfortable you are with running after one stone and sweeping it, or in knowing where you're throwing the stone towards. Stewart's delivered the stone, and he comes up the top there. He's sweeping hard, and is that over curling? That looks like a good shot. That's a good shot from Stewart. Yes, he gets the stone, and it's a 2 for blue. And that's the half-time break. And the score is Fowler Jakey is 6, Brian Wilcox 4. So back live here now, and the fifth end has been and gone, and Brandon Wilcox stole a single. To make the score final, Jake is 6, Brandon Wilcox 5. And so at the sixth end here, Fowler and Jake have called a power play, which is they're allowed to do once per game. Each team is allowed to do one power play per game, and basically means moving the stones from the centre of the sheet to the side of the sheet to open up a few more options for trying to get a big end. So that's what they've done on the right hand side of the sheet here. The stones moves across to the edge of the 8 foot, 12 foot, the stone in the house, and the stone in the front of the house moves across, being lined with the hack and the stone in the house. So it's still guarded behind, the stone in the house is still guarded behind the guard. And from that, they can then try to create a situation for scoring a big end. But they wanted to do once per game, as I said, so they've done it this end. Brandon Wilcox could play it either the next two ends if they want to. They don't have to. It's purely optional, but teams use it to try and create more opportunities. And in the other game on sheet E at the moment is Taylor 7, Penal and Andal 2. So having got the two stones round behind the corner guard now, Fowler and Jaggy have now an opportunity to hit that blue stone in the edge of the 4 foot. To lie 3, hit and roll across behind the centre guard if they wish, and that'll be 3 stones in the house, all guarded. So after that miss from Tom Jake a couple of stones ago, the Brian Wilcox pair are lying 2 again. Good shot here from Tom. Could get rid of the 2 blues and leave Fowler Jager lying 4. Just a nose hit on the blue at the front would remove both blues. But would leave the red a bit exposed to a hit and roll behind. But he could get hit and roll behind himself if he hits the blue to the left as you look at it and takes it across the top of the blue at the back. So the stone is on its way. Looks quite tight here. He's up to the and done what said the second and keep. Oh, not quite far enough perhaps. Good roll behind the guard, but I think it's possibly still blue line second shot, maybe third shot, maybe 2 reds at the moment. So Stuart can't really see that centre shot now. He has to be a delicate shot around the guard, and then he wouldn't have enough weight to push it very far. So he could take a gamble perhaps and draw right behind the stone at the top of 4 right to the back of the button and force a 1 out of Jager and Fowler as a maximum. Because if he doesn't get this right, he could end up leaving a straightforward hit for Anna to take a 5. So he's got to get the stone quite in a good position. Where the brush is at the moment would be good. I would give him second shot. Definitely, and be unmovable. He's going to be a decision here now. He's better to go for the 1 or to try and reduce his losses. It looks like he's going to try and reduce his losses. He's going to try and draw to the middle red on the side to lie second shot. Angela's going up to help him this time, the sweeping. And so he's going to leave a shot at the top of the 8 foot, leave that there, lose a 1 for that one, and hope that he can reduce the damage to that 1 if Anna can get a second one in there. Chance here for Anna to get a 5, just to hit half the stone, really. Push it out through between the 2 stones at the edge of the 12 foot and roll across and pick up her 5. So stone is on its way. Tom is up there ready to sweep it. It does seem quite a straight stretch of ice down there, so he just nicks it just to get a piece of it. She'll pick up at least 4. That looks a bit wide, and in fact, oh, she's missed it altogether. So just a 1 there for Fowler Jager, a bit of a let off there for Brandon Wilcox. It's a bit heavy from Anna Fowler. Didn't need to be that heavy. It didn't need to move it that far. She could have played a hack weight or a lesser strike weight, but it's a bit of a heavy shot there. And just a one shot there for Fowler and Yegi. Made it score 7-5. Yeah, the one thing about this job here is that you can't tell sometimes if you're actually going out live on the internet. I have no means of checking that you're receiving me, but I've just had a text message to say that somebody can hear me rabbiting on, so that's good. I shall carry on doing that. We're now ready to start the seventh end of this end, and it looks as though Bran Wilcox are calling a power play. I said allowed one power play per end per game, and this is their response to the power play played the previous end by Fowler and Yegi. So Anna's played her first stone here, and she'll be trying to get right round that guard onto the face of the blue stone in the house, or even push the red guard up, which is what she's doing now. She pushed the red into the middle. Now it's got to hang around or it'll be replaced. And that stone will have to go back out again because it's been pushed out of play. So the guard goes back up again to where it was. Because you're not allowed to hit a stone out of play into the fourth place stone at the end. So the stone back in play, the guard back up where it was before. So it's now Angela playing her, or is it Stuart? It's Bran Wilcox pairing playing their first stone, and if they get one wrapped around behind the guard, well, that looks a bit heavy as well. Is that going to push the blue out? Not quite, that's still in place. So they're line two, but one's a bit open. In fact, they're both probably open now. So we can't hit the shot yet. Can we? Well, in fact, it looked there as though Tom Jaggy was trying to move that blue stone, but in fact it was only the third stone at the end. So in fact, if he'd had hit it, it would have just go back into play again. So they left Brian Wilcox lying 2, and they've got a chance to put an element down the guard, or even to guard the one that's lying short at the moment. So a strange error there from the Fowler Jaggy team. I've no doubt Coach Nigel will have something to say to him about that after the game. So that's done come to the front of the house, lying 3 shots now. And also, of course, Brian Wilcox do have last stone this end. So, Phil and Jay in a bit of trouble here. Looks like they're going to try and hit the front blue. And maybe if they get lucky, they might go in the back ones out as well. But it's sometimes difficult to mix doubles to see what the teams are aiming to do, because there's no sort of shouting up the far end to tell people. So it's very much a case of close talk between 2 people, and sometimes until the stone's played, it's quite difficult to know what the intention is to do. But I think this one they're going to try and hit the front blue off, from what I could gather. That's the shot they're playing, and if they got the double, no, it's just jammed in the back blue. So 2 now for Brian Wilcox, and another chance to put one in. Top of the circles as a guard for the shot in the middle. Meanwhile, in the other game, Pinland Nandel picked up 1 at the 6th end, so it's now 7-3 for Taylor and Taylor, playing the 7th end. So this stone from Brian Wilcox comes a bit short, actually, a bit of a guard there. So a chance now for Tom Jaggy to hit that shot in the middle and roll behind the guards. Multiple guards now there, so a bit of a missed chance there from the Brian Wilcox pairing to get that guard in properly. So let's hope that let's see if Tom can hit this blue and roll across behind the guards. So Fowler and Jay have just been discussing the shot they're playing, and now Tom gets settled down in the hack. Ready to throw a shot. Anna waiting to sweep. And it's on its way and heading up towards this situation here. Tom aiming to hit the blue in the middle. We need a bit of sweeping. Is it going to catch the guard? It's just caught the guard. Oh dear. So pushed the red into the live third shot, but blue still lying two there. And another chance for Brian Wilcox to put a guard at the front of the house there. Angela on the hack, ready to throw a shot. Stuart ready to sweep, got a stopwatch out, timing it. Give an idea how fast it is when you swept. Coming up now. No, it's a bit, it's still drawing quite a lot across, is it? It's coming in quite well though. Got a slightly over curl, but we've gone a bit too far. But they do have last stone, so that's a good shot from Angela. It's difficult to double off that. It looks as though the only shot left for Anna could be the freeze and the short stone. Or she could go for the hit and roll behind that, but to get the double is quite tricky. Big decision time here now for the Fowler Jakey team. They are 2 shots up. It is the 7th end. But they don't want to be losing 3 or 4 here. They do seem to be looking at a hit here. The middle one still open for their next shot. So this is actually Anna's last. This is the Fowler Jakey last stone this end. So it's Anna Fowler in the hack. Stone's on its way. She's just delivering it now. And it does look like a hit still. She's trying, and she over curled. Oh dear. Oh, it's rolling across into the house, but it won't stick around. So that gives Stuart a draw now for 4. Stuart draws this, he gets 4, he'll be 2 up, going into the last end. Basically, just need to get anywhere in the circles here. And the game on the other sheet is finished in a win for Taylor and Taylor by 9 shots to 3. But we're watching here now the last stone of this 7th end, delivered by Stuart Brand. hoping to draw for 4. And that looks pretty good to me. That's a 4 shots for Brandon Wilcox and puts him into 9 shots to 7 lead with 1 end to go. The next game from this championship is we play at 2:30 at the start of the session after the pre-game practice, probably start about 10 to 3. And the game will be broadcasting at that time will be Owen Rees and Annabelle Martin, who are the team of the bye this session. And they will be playing against Harry Pinnell and Mia Andel. So it'll be a battle of the teams from Kent. The young teams coming up from Kent to play in this mixed doubles championship. And that'll be taking place about 10 to 3. We'll start that session broadcast from here at Dumfries. So both teams have played their power play in this game, live game, so it's back to standard play. Stone in the back of the 4-foot and a stone out the front. There's a guard. First stone we played by Stuart Brand. With a 2-shot lead. So it's up to Fowler and Jaggy to try and score 3, or at least 2 here. And that's unfortunate. That stone from Stuart's got a bit heavy, which gives Anna an immediate chance now to put another stone into the 4-foot and puts more pressure on the Brand Wilcox team. And that's a good shot there from Anna. It's top of the 8-foot. So they're line 2. So I think we need to get a stone in there from Andrew Wilcox, somewhere into the white in the middle of the circles. A nice freeze against the back red would be a good place to be. They are taking a 2-shot lead. So if they can get a good feed on here, that's out counting the front red, and they'll make it harder for the Fowler Jaggy team to get rid of the blue. So it's coming down now. It's looking a wee bit shorter. No, it's coming well. That's coming down well here. Stuart sweeping it hard. It's staying a bit wide, but that's a very good shot from Angela. Yep, it is open. Anna can get to it. It's a good way. It's just slightly wide. It'll be Tom's shot to play to try and come down there, hit the blue out and roll in behind to lie 3 in a line in the middle. Doesn't need to be too heavy because he just needs a bit of a roll off it and needs to catch the draw to make sure he gets the inside edge of the blue stone and gets the roll across to the left as we look at it. Stone's coming down now. It's stayed a bit straight, that one, but it's done a good job. It's pushed the blue back. Red are now lying two again probably, but it just didn't bend quite enough at the end. It is quite straight further up the sheet there, and it doesn't really draw unless it's at pure draw weight, and that call comes in the last once it crosses the hog line. So it's quite a late draw, and that one just didn't quite draw enough. So Stuart going to try and, or Angela going to try and hit this one out of here now. That could be a risk if she plays it wide and jams the back blue, but if she can get the red out and roll across behind the guards, that would be a pretty good shot. Very tight actually, that's on the guard at the front, so that's a very poor shot there. It's very tight, actually guarded the hit on the red now. It's opened up the front red for Tom to push up to the middle. If it comes down on the in turn, he'll be able to get to the red and push it back into the centre of the house. There's So this stone's on its way from Tom Jagey. It's going to try and come down to hit the front red, push the front red into the centre of the circles. Red is at the top of the 8 foot. Stone coming into view now. It's looking pretty good. It needs a bit of sweeping perhaps, got cut across too much. Needs a bit of sweeping, and that's a very good shot from Tom. That gets right in there. And it hasn't left much of a gap for Angela to get through. So there's a gap to get through to get the stones out of the way, but again there's the blue at the back, which is vulnerable if she gets the angles wrong. But if she can stay out and hit this red as she was shown, then you may in fact get a couple of reds out. So a few options here for them. And there's a good judgment call on the sweeping as to where to sweep, when to sweep, to get the angles right. So it's Angela about to throw the stone here now to try and get rid of some of these red shots in the house. She's on her way, Stuart's ready to sweep. Switch to the other camera and you'll be able to see, as she says, that one is looking, it's wide, cut the guard. I think she was sweeping that, but it stayed wide all the way. It's quite straight down there, as I said. So, yes, if it really depends how many they're lying down there. It looks at least 2, possibly 3, but there's another shot there for Thomas to just tap those right up again, as Anna's showing there. Which will make it very difficult for Brandon Wilcox to move more than 1, unfortunately 2, and we have another stone to come from Anna Fowler. So this game is all in the balance still, with just 3 stones to go. So we see Anna at the far end waiting to sweep Tom's stone as Tom slides out now with the stone on the in-turn. Anna will have timed that to see what she thinks it needs sweeping or not for distance. But it depends on the line, and it does run quite straight there to begin with, so it's going to be fairly critical here. That's still quite wide actually. And it may in fact, well, it's tapped up the red, but yeah, I'm not sure. That's not bad actually. If Stuart does hit the front red, then it's going to stick around no matter how many of the back reds go. So Stuart's in fairly tight ice there, so he's obviously come down quite a weight on this to try and move stuff about. Which he needs to be. He won't lie short, I don't think, after the shot, so it depends how many he leaves Fowler and Jagger lying, what Anna's next shot might be. I think the blue at the back is actually safe at the moment now with the position of the stones as they are. So I don't think it will move, the blue at the back of the 4 foot. So Anna's staying in the head for this one. She'll be staying down a fairly heavy one to try and move something. It's on its way, and yes, it's a fairly... Oh, and I just kicked the back stone there, but... Oh, flying everywhere. Well, it's moved quite a lot. There's one red there, looks like 2 reds at the moment. The question is, how can they get a third out of it? I think they're going to try just come to the front red, and that would give them 3. They've also looked and they said that if they just tap the front red, then the shooter will still lie as a third shot. Because they looked at that fairly quickly, and I believe therefore they're just going to tap the front red and get the 3. So here it comes now, and it's a bit heavy. It's a bit heavy. It's pushed the red up. Well, that may only be 1 red then. Is it going to be a measure? Is it going to measure? It could be that they call the umpires in to measure these last red and blue stones. Don't know if that black red is actually in play as well. I think the black red is possibly not included, but the umpire will have to go and get the measure out. So that's a bit heavy from from Anna there. She pushed that stone up a bit heavy. I don't think she's trying to push the red onto back blue or not, but she was a bit heavy, and it didn't draw enough, and pushed it back onto her own red stone at the back. So now wait for Jim Gibb, the umpire, to come out and measure these stones before he can give you the final decision. If it's a 2, it's an extra end. If it's a 1, it's a win for Brandon Wilcox, which will be a bit of a shock in the first round here of the English Mixed Doubles Championships at Dumfries. Goes quick. I'll take extension. Obviously, that rather red is not. So it looks like 2 red. So it's an extra end here at the first session of play English Mixed Doubles Championship. A relief there for Fowler and Jaggy. They've picked up a 2. And it's 9-all going into the extra end. Now this will be a normal end because you can't play a power play in the extra end. So it'll be a normal game of mixed doubles curling, normal end. Last stone for Brandon Wilcox. And their stone's in the back of the 4-foot, and it's Fowler and Jakey to throw first. And that'll be Anna Fowler trying to draw around into the button to freeze on the back blue and lie short if possible. So here you are in the extra end, and obviously the first shot from Anna Fowler was left a bit wrecked in the front guard and just moved it across, and then Sue Bryan came through there, through the gap that was left, and has put a second stone in the house. And now Tom's going to try to try and draw through the gap and actually get to the short stone, which may not be as easy as it looks. Because once the stone gets past the guard, it does tend to start drawing off the centre line. So it's not a straightforward draw here. But shows, oh, he's come through in that hand, and well, he's coming to 4-foot. There's line shot now behind the guard. So Anne's going to try and follow that in before Fowler Jake has a chance to block it up. And that's shot down here from Angela. It's a bit wide, it's staying well out. In fact, it's a bit tight actually. It's drawing across the wing there, so not quite the line they were looking for, and it's up to Tom to try and get all the way through there. And a bit more pressure on the blue stones in the middle. So Tom just put up a guard there on that red stone, a bit more clutch at the front for Angela to negotiate. I think it's probably time that she cleared a bit of that front guard away because, as I say, they do have last stone, Brandon Wilcox. So I think it's time for Angela to try and get rid of some of those front red stones and open up the way to the centre. Done well there, clear a couple of guards away and open up the shot stone. So that's a good shot there from Angela to clear that up. So stone coming down there from Tom. Jake comes into the house. Still a bit off as a guard, so lying first and third now, but a fairly open hit there for Angela if she wants to take the red out there to lie two. And she could roll across the circles to the right hand side. It was very second shot behind the guards out the front. So Stone coming down now. It's actually cut off the front one and rolled out. Take the run Stone out. Oh dear. Yeah, that just cut the front red rather than the short red, and it's rolled across. And now a chance for Yegi and Fowler to put a guard up. But it's quite tricky to put guards up here, and so it's looking a bit unhappy, but I'm sure he's still got a chance with his last stone. He has got 2 stones, second and third. He may well just have to take the red out, and will still manage to win the game. The team don't want to hang around at the moment because they slightly overrunning the session, and other players were hoping to get on. So the stone's coming down now. It's a better line than the last one. In fact, it's maybe coming too far, is it? Oh, it's coming right up to it. So, well, there's a partial double now there for Stuart. If he can get this. Just gone a bit too far there. So here we are, the last stone of this extra end. So a good first game here from Dumfries for you to watch. Stuart Brand now needs to hit both of these ends out of the house, or at least beyond the 8 foot, and lie to, looks a bit wide though. I think that stone's running wide. I think he just missed the double. Yes, there's a 1 for Fowler and Jaggy. And Anna Fowler and Tom Jaggy win the game there by 10-9 after the extra end. So tight finish that game, and we shall see you again at 2:50 for the next round of mixed doubles here from the English Championships at Dumfries. So final result there is Fowler Jaggy 10, Brian Wilcox 9. This is John Brown signing off from Dumfries.